This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news this Sunday morning. Lots to get through as per usual on a Sunday morning because you get all the weekly Sunday shows having their say on what is going on. But I want to start off and say what a fantastic result it was yesterday for Manchester United. Look, that strike force at the moment for Manchester United with Greenwood, not Sancho yet. We will talk about Sancho transfer plea in a moment, but Greenwood, Martial and Rashford. They are factually the best strike force in the country at the moment. 55 goals scored across all competitions is more than Salah, Firmino and Mane have got. And the only combination that you can get more of is Man City, but they have to put Aguero and Sterling and Jesus as their front three, which is not their front three. Greenwood, Rashford, Martial is a front three that you play together. So I mean, imagine what happens when you've got Bruno and Pogba for more than half a season with them behind them. I mean, that is very, very encouraging. We're going to talk more about that on the 8 o'clock show tonight with Ricky, Adam and Saeed, though. But what I want to say first of all is that Manchester United have to sign Jadon Sancho. This is a plea, probably from many of you, but certainly from me as well, that Jadon Sancho must be the player that Manchester United signed this summer. There can be no relaxation of the feet on the pedal. I've seen this at Manchester United many times before. We sell Ronaldo and Michael Owen and Antonio Valencia will do. We want a midfielder, but there's no value in the market. Manchester United, under this current ownership, have got a long history of deciding that what they've got's good enough to save money on what they need. This happened under Sir Alex. It's a big, stark warning. It's Game of Thrones. It's Ned Stark. It's a warning. Look what happened to him. He ended up without a head. This is very important for Manchester United to listen to and take this plea on board. And it must come from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because as we spoke about on Friday night, this story about terms being agreed with Sancho and Manchester United isn't just a story. Fabrizio Romano commented it on Friday night and said, this is not the problem. There is no problem with the terms between Manchester United and Sancho. It's the deal between Dortmund and United that will decide this deal. That's where we're at with the Jadon Sancho story. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. This is a deal that's very close. Jadon Sancho is sat there watching Manchester United play, watching the best front three in Europe at the moment. And it is the best front three in Europe at the moment. Manchester United are probably one of the best teams in Europe at the moment. Liverpool are deservedly title winners, but they've taken their foot off the pedal. Manchester City, you never know what they're going to get. Manchester United, consistent, playing fantastically well. Teams can go ahead and will still blast them. A front three that's scoring 4 goals in one game. Bruno Fernandes getting 2 goals and giving goals to Rashford. He could have had 2 goals and 2 assists. That front three is potent, and it's very potent behind it. But Manchester United are very, very exciting, and Jadon Sancho will be now. We've got into this weird situation where we may not be thinking that we need Jadon Sancho, but Jadon Sancho will be thinking that he needs us. What a flip around from 2 months. And this is why we mustn't walk away from this deal. The latest, as we know, is that Manchester United want him, that he wants to come to United, that terms are not going to be a problem. But we must sign him. And I'll say this as my hat trick. I mean, I've sort of flirted around with it, but I will say this now. I was talking about this on Twitter last night. There's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of videos on the United stand going back 18 months to Bruno Fernandes, where I was saying Bruno Fernandes is the player United need. And some people were like, who's Bruno Fernandes? Oh, he plays in Portugal. Last summer, Bruno Fernandes sounds look good. We didn't get him. And I was like, we're going to regret not getting Bruno Fernandes for the next 5 years. Luckily, we got him in January. We got him 6 months too late. We should have got him last summer, but this channel, we were talking about Bruno Fernandes for well over a year. And fan service signing, whatever, I and many other people said, this player will revolutionise Manchester United. If you know what he's all about at Portugal, and I know it's the Portuguese league, but it's not just the Portuguese league, look at what the player is. He's obsessed, he's determined, he's a leader, he gets goals and assists nearly every game. Look at what he's done to Manchester United. I also said in the lockdown, we will finish 3rd. People are like, you're stupid. We ain't never closing an 8-point gap on Leicester. And Chelsea are playing well. I said, we'll get 3rd. And the form we're in, I think people have just put it on like a comfy pair of slippers. And we're not actually putting the praise on the words of what we're doing. You know, it's not easy in the Premier League to go and beat teams 5-2 when you go 1-0 down. It's not easy to push Brighton aside, who've basically won every game, haven't they? Well, they drew with Leicester, but they're unbeaten, Brighton, apart from when we made them look shit. Sheffield United nearly beat Arsenal last week, beat Spurs. We made them look crap. We are on fire at the moment. Manchester United are absolutely on fire, and we will get 3rd place. I firmly believe it. So for my third trick, as I said to Fletch on the Premier League show, Jadon Sancho. This is a plea, not just from Jadon Sancho, not just from the mainstream media to keep circulating the story. This is a plea from me, and hopefully a lot of you, that we need to go and get Jadon Sancho. This is about what Manchester United have achieved since Bruno's come in, and especially since lockdown. This is exciting. This is the United we want to see. The excitement, the goals, the United way. Jadon Sancho has to be got. But I'm worried a little bit because I see even some of our fans saying, we don't need Sancho, we got Greenwood. No, we do need Sancho. Greenwood is 18 years of age and he's going to be anything he wants to be. But Greenwood, Rashford and Martial is not enough. The drop-off away from those three is down to Norwich City. I actually think Ighalo is decent, but is he a top 4 starter? I don't think so. Certainly don't think Mata is anymore. Don't think Dan James is at the moment. You need that quality. And you look at that front three yesterday, Greenwood, Rashford, Martial. The rotation between the three. Martial drifts to the left and scores a worldie. Greenwood scores a goal from the left and the right. Rashford taps one in and he's only just offside in the number 9 position. This is what I mean. Jadon Sancho can play left and right. And those three can play left and right. This is why Sancho is so important, because we're not a rigid front three. We're not like, if we buy Sancho, Greenwood won't get many games, because Greenwood can play off the left, he can play up front, so can Rashford. They can all play everywhere. And that's why Sancho is so important. So my plea is to Manchester United and Solskjaer to push this deal through and get it done. To not be hesitant, because hesitant people don't finish first place. They snooze and they lose. He wants to come to United. We have got the money to sign him. He's absolutely essential to what we need to achieve. And don't go and do what the Glazers have done in the past. Sell Ronaldo and buy Michael Owen. Sir Alex Ferguson needs a midfielder. No value in the market. We've got to get this deal done. And I tell you what, I'll tell it you right now. If we back out of this deal, I think Chelsea will take it. We can't ruin Greenwood's potential by running him into the ground playing right wing every week. We need quality rotation, and that means Sancho, says Gustav. I agree with that. And, of course, we need Sancho. If Rashford and Martial get a long-term injury, first game of the season, we are screwed. Squad depth is important. Yeah, well, it's good to see that so many people are on board with that, because I really think it's very important. Please smash a like on the video if you're new, and subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Smash a like on the video. You don't need to be new for that. But let's just have a roundup of some of the latest transfer news, and then we'll get back into the other stuff as well. Grealish is a must, says Laptop Clinic. You know what? Before I tell you the latest transfer news, because there's something about Havertz, Mata, and a few other things as well. Yeah, I'm on board with that. I don't know what any of you lot think, but I think when I look at this maybe I'm being a little bit greedy here, but the dream transfer window for me is Sancho priority, Jack Grealish second, and then we need a centre-back. I think CDM is a position that I think Manchester United do and always have needed. And Josh Sutton says that we need Sancho full stop. Greenwood can still be a bench player and cup starter once Ighalo leaves. Still plenty of game opportunities to progress. I think Greenwood will start games anyway. I think that, Rashford, Martial and Greenwood might have to rotate and Sancho might have to rotate. That's exactly what you need. And you still need Ighalo as well, because Ighalo's a player you just chuck on to play up front. I don't mind that option, but the others are rotational in relation to how they play when they start. So, but look, Grealish is very important. Big week for Grealish, actually, because we'll be playing against him on Thursday. And I think if they lose to Liverpool today and lose to us on Thursday, Villa are going to basically be down. So, big week in relation to that. And yeah, look, United need that. Similar to the front three, really. I think we go, we got Pogba and Bruno, we're the best in the world. You take them off and suddenly we're shit again. Like, we've seen that. You can't... we had that silly story on Friday night that Pogba and Bruno had injured each other, and we were panicking because we're like, let me be absolutely blunt here. Greenwood, Rashford, Martial were brilliant yesterday. I don't think we win that game without Bruno and Pogba. Doesn't matter how good your front three is if they don't have the ball. And Pogba and Bruno are so creative and provide such a platform and strike such fear into the opposition that I don't think we would have won that game with McTominay and Fred or Lingard and Pereira playing. I just don't think we would. So they're massively important, and that's why Grealish is important. It's the same as the front three. You've got to have quality rotation. Don't need loads, but one in each area would be very, very useful. So Grealish is important as well. And then I do think a centre-back's important. And I look, the obvious centre-back for me, if you want to be very good, is go and get Koulibaly. It's a bit short-term, it's a bit expensive, and I can't see United having that money to do that. Koulibaly is the obvious choice, but there's two centre-backs at Leipzig. Upamecano, Konate, I think they could both be very good. And I'm sure you've got a long list of centre-backs that you think would be suitable for Manchester United. But the reality is, as we spoke about on the match reaction yesterday, and as we saw, Eric Bailly isn't good enough. I actually don't always agree with Ricky, but he has been very consistent about Eric Bailly, saying I just don't rate him. He hasn't got the concentration levels as a centre-back, and he's too reckless. Look, I don't think that was a penalty yesterday, but he never should be trying to control it with the upper part of his arm. You know, he shouldn't. He should be heading that away. That's centre-backs are not... When a centre-back does a turn in the box, it's exciting. Oh, look at him. He's so elite. He's just done a Cruyff turn to send the centre-back, to send the striker back to kindergarten. But actually... I like a centre-back, but when there's danger, just gets rid of the ball. Because the ball's gone. Like, there's no risk of a Cruyff turn, is there? Just get rid of the ball. And I don't think Eric Bailly has that in his mindset sometimes. And I think that can be dangerous. He has got the pace that we need, though, and Lindelof and Maguire don't have that. So United have got a situation at the moment where they've got three centre-backs who, in different ways, just don't complement each other. Does Jones add anything to that? No, he doesn't. Does Twansebi add anything to that? We don't know, because he's been injured for a whole year and maybe injured for a long time. If Smalling comes back, I think Smalling actually gives us something, but does he want to come back? I think the centre-back issue is starting to become a problem because it will destabilise us. As I said yesterday, I think that thoughts on signing Nathan Ake, I don't think Ake is good enough, to be honest with you. And Jake says he's the new director of football. Well done. We need Sancho, Grealish and Koulibaly next summer. If we get them, we're serious title challengers, says Sridget. I mean, that's not going to happen. I mean, look, if you said to me you're going to get Koulibaly, Grealish and Sancho, I would expect a title challenge next season. I think they would be more or less every piece of the jigsaw. Longer term, you need a CDM. But for next season, I think we would be fine. But I can't see us actually doing that. But as I said yesterday, the goal that we conceded against Bournemouth, the first one, if you concede that goal against a Liverpool or a Chelsea or a Manchester City, are you going to come back? It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter yesterday. You know, I was annoyed with the mistake. I was like, Harry and David again making mistakes. But against Bournemouth, you know that you're going to outscore them, so it doesn't matter. But it's not something to brush under the carpet and go, it doesn't matter, because actually it's happened twice in our last 5 Premier League games between Maguire and De Gea. And effectively, it started with our centre-back. And effectively, if that happens against a better team, we might not get back in the game. And where's the sign that this isn't going to happen again? So it is becoming a bit of an issue at United. I think the reason Greenwood is doing so well right now is because he's used to not playing in front of fans, so it takes pressure off him, says Ewan. But yeah, I mean, but by the time he plays in front of fans, that confidence will be there that he can do it. I think there's something in that, but I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that. I can't analyse human behaviour, but I wonder what the impact on football is not having the fans. I mean, maybe United, when they go 1-0 down to Bournemouth and the crowd's moaning, do they react so calmly? I don't know. Really hard to believe we will get Sancho and Grealish together, although I will be elated if we do, says Shian. Roy Amanta says, Mark, I don't think Eric is a good centre-back at the back, but that was a bad pass from Matic, let's be honest, says Roy. It was, but you know what? As somebody who played centre-back myself, and I'm sure many of you have played at the back, you're not always going to get a very good pass out from the back, are you? That's not always what's going to happen. So you need to... as a centre-back, balls ricochet, they come flying at you. It'll knock off somebody else, as I say. If your mentality as a centre-back is to clear danger, doesn't matter whether the ball's a bad pass or a ricochet, you go for the centre of the ball, you put your head through it or you put your foot through it and you clear it. If you're looking to control it, that's what a centre-forward or a centre-attacking midfielder does. Their job is to control difficult balls and keep the ball in play. As a centre-back, if you get a difficult ball, get rid of it. In fact, I admit this is very Stoke City, but as a defender when I was young, I used to get told this by my coach: if in doubt, kick it out. Like that, and that always sticks in my head. If in doubt, kick it out. And I don't think Eric Bailly has that. Eric Bailly has, if in doubt, try and control it and run past a few attackers. It will cost us goals. But more importantly, I think the whole centre-back issue is an issue. If Lindelof's out injured, can you trust Bailly and Maguire? I think we do need a centre-back, and I'd never really thought it before, but it's becoming more and more of an issue due to the lack of concentration in our defence. Centrally, I think the fullbacks are brilliant, by the way. Seeing people going at Flex for saying Greenwood is one of the best youngsters in the world, mentioning Mbappe, people need to remember there's 3 years between them. There's a lot of development time, says Joshua Bowater. Thanks for the contribution from Renate Felstad, and Vic57 says Victor Lindelof has been better than Maguire, so why are we replacing him and not Maguire? I think it's just because he's English and overhyped. Well, he did cost £80 million. I think you're right. I think that does have to play a part in it, if I'm absolutely honest. As for Flex getting stick about Mason Greenwood, who's giving him stick? Do you think Manchester United fans are telling Flex he's an idiot for saying that Greenwood's in the same conversation as people? Oh, I saw a stat yesterday about most goals scored by 18-year-olds in the Premier League, and he's already in company of people like Michael Owen and Wayne Rooney. So, you know, this lad can be anything he wants to be. I wouldn't put labels on it. I personally wouldn't say he's going to be the next Mbappe or anything like that, because if he gets a bad injury, he may never be the same again, and that's always a concern with younger players. But this is why we need Sancho. You can't go into next season saying you're going to play an 18-year-old for 60 games. He's got to be in and out. I mean, at the moment, I think you just keep playing the lad. But if we were in at the start of a season, you would know that you've got to rest him. I mean, this again is why the Sancho transfer plea is so important. He wants to come to us. We need to go and get him, because Greenwood won't be able to play every game. He won't be able to play every game. It's stupid to do every game for an 18-year-old. There will be times in the season where he needs a rest. Martial will get injured. Rashford will get injured. So this is absolutely essential that we get this deal done. We should sign Ruben Diaz. Thoughts, Mark, says Sam. I think he's a decent option. Yeah, I think he is. Anyway, let's have a look at Greenwood's better than Sancho, says Chris. Well, that's just factually stupid. That sort of mentality in our fan base is why we get ridiculed, because that's just stupid. Absolutely stupid to say that, because he's not better than Sancho. He can be better than Sancho, but he's not. He's not better than Martial or Rashford yet. Martial and Rashford have done more in the game than Mason Greenwood. And people will say, well, they hadn't done it at 18. No, they hadn't, which is why Greenwood's got the potential to be better. But he's got to be nurtured, he's got to be given time, and he's got to be given patience. And at the moment, he's playing in a team that Martial and Rashford didn't play in. When Martial and Rashford were playing at equivalent ages, give or take a year, they were the best player in the team with the pressure of the world on them. Mason Greenwood's playing in a team where Gary Neville said this. The class of 92 came into a great side, which with people like Roy Keane, Paul Ince, Eric Cantona, Peter Schmeichel, Steve Bruce, Dennis Irwin. The team was full of Premier League winners and experienced players who were at the very top of their game. And you come in as a young player, and yeah, everyone was happy to see you, but the expectation on you, the pressure, is less because you're being carried by or looked after by bigger players. This is exactly what's happening with Mason Greenwood. Martial, Rashford, Pogba, Bruno, Matic, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, David De Gea. These are all experienced players in that team, and he can come in and just get on with it. Whereas if Mason Greenwood had come into that team 3 years ago under Mourinho or Van Gaal, everyone would be like, we need Greenwood to produce some magic, and he's 18. It's a very different world that Greenwood's operating in, and it's a perfect world for him. But we don't need to start putting labels on it. It's stupid. And as I've said before, I get very, very frustrated with Greenwood's better than this, Greenwood's better than Martial, Greenwood's better than Sancho. It's stupid. Like, why do you want your own players or players that you want to buy to say they're better than this or that? It's weird. It's the same when Arsenal fans start saying Martinelli's better than Greenwood. What are you talking about? He's injured. Focus on your own bloody table and let us eat our dinner. Stian United, we need Sancho and a centre-back. Koulibaly, Van der Beek, Grealish, because we need squad depth when we play many games and we get Champions League. Spot on. And also, Shrit Daz says, hey Mark, is there any way we can actively participate in your show? I mean, we can call in. Not today, mate. And Anup Aliapan says there are a lot of good players in the... Oh, I was a little bit dismissive there, actually. I didn't mean that. We used to do a call-in on a Monday night. It's just... We haven't done it for a while because when lockdown happened, everything shut down and we didn't think that a call-in really worked. We can bring it back and we will bring it back, but I'm not obviously going to open up the calls now. There are a lot of good players in the relegation battle, like Aaron from Norwich, Grealish, I think, Sancho and a centre-back, and then we look at these players. Says Anup Aliapan, thank you very, very much. Let me just give you some of the latest Manchester United transfer news anyway. I mean, take or leave what you think about this. So, Marca in Spain are reporting that Manchester United could get James Rodriguez for a cut price £20 million this summer. He's out of contract next summer, so a very cheap option. I like James Rodriguez. I think 3 years ago I would have done this deal, but I don't know what you people think. But I think for me that would be a big fat no. We don't need James Rodriguez. It's a step in the wrong direction. It's a step in the wrong direction for me. He's too inconsistent. He's had too many chances that he's not taken at like Bayern Munich and Real Madrid in recent years. There's no doubt he's a talent, but you know, United. The one word that United need and the one word that United have at the moment is consistency, and that's not in James Rodriguez's vocabulary at the moment. So that's a big no. Bit of positive news around Kai Havertz, but I don't think it is. Bayern Munich have come out and said that it's not possible for them to sign Kai Havertz this summer, and that hoping that Bayer Leverkusen will keep him for another year. Now, that is interesting because I don't think Real Madrid can afford him either, and it opens up the door to a Premier League move, which apparently he's quite open to. Apparently Havertz wants to go. He doesn't want to do another year at Leverkusen. So this is interesting how you construct this deal. Now, I don't know whether Bayern Munich can do some sort of we'll pay you next summer thing, because I thought Bayern Munich or Real Madrid would be where he went. But this is an example of the financial crash and because of coronavirus impacting on football. If Bayern Munich are saying they can't afford Havertz when normally they would want him, and Real Madrid can't afford him when normally they would want him, this is where clubs like Chelsea will take advantage. Chelsea took advantage of the Werner deal. He was going to go to Liverpool or maybe us. Neither of us went in, and Chelsea took him. Are Chelsea now going to get Havertz? And if they do, and they might do it with Sancho as well if we back off, Chelsea could be the kings of the transfer window because they are taking advantage of clubs not being able to buy this summer. Waiting till next summer when clubs do have money, I think it'll be a very competitive market. But this summer, there are players that want to move who are quality players like Werner, like Havertz, like Sancho, that a lot of clubs can't afford. And it also feeds into what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. Oh, Bayern Munich enter the Jadon Sancho race. Well, they bloody well don't. They can't even afford Havertz. And neither do Barcelona and neither Real Madrid. So this is just another example of how this transfer window is set up perfectly if you've got the money to buy the players that you want who want to leave. Havertz wants to leave, and I could see Chelsea getting that deal. United have been mentioned, but I don't think United will go for Havertz because he's too good a player to go on your bench. He wouldn't fit in our front three, and we've got Pogba and Bruno. So, yeah, I don't think Havertz is coming to us, but that's probably a positive for Chelsea. Greenwood's performance plus carried away United plans plus Ed Woodward equals not signing Sancho, a regrettable mistake. Why don't we ever learn? Sorry about Dean, though, says Yankee Wiz. And by James... Dean? I don't know what that last bit means. Yeah, I've just said that. I do think that I've seen Manchester United do this a few times where they think they can get by with what they've got and save money. It's not about football. Jadon Sancho is a footballing decision that United need to make. And I think they will make it. But what I'm saying is, please, please, please don't back away from this deal because you think this team's good enough to win the league. This team ain't good enough to win the league. This team's very, very, very good at the moment. It's playing very, very good football. And it's being very consistent. But it ain't good enough to win the league. It needs more to win the league. You've got to spend money to win the league. And that's what we want to do. And that's why it's very important that they go and sign Jadon Sancho. And Jack Grealish, I think. By James, replace Lingard and Mata. He will be a better option off the bench, says Guido Martini. My friend from America told me he didn't know what a crumpet was this morning. Safe to say we won't be speaking again. Disgraceful, says Joshua Bowater. You can't beat a bit of crumpet with butter on. Left back, Grimaldo, Tagliafico. We don't need a left back. You've absolutely ruined this super chat, Cruikshanker. Starts off with left back. We don't need a... Why do we need a bloody left back? I'm going to pick up on this. He says we need a left back, a centre back, a centre defensive midfielder, a right winger, and a striker. And then he says treble 2021. So you're not going to bother with an attacking midfielder if Bruno gets injured. Okay, well, what are you going to do about that? And you want a left back. No, I totally disagree. It's your opinion, though. People might agree with you, but you know you've missed out centre attacking midfielder, which is essential. And you want a left back. No. We don't need a left back. Luke Shaw's doing fantastically well, and Brandon Williams will grow into a brilliant left back as well. We don't need a left back. It's the most... Left back is probably the best position we've got in relation to cover. Like, we actually have got two very good left backs. If one gets injured, you've got the cover. Have we got that at right back at the moment? I'm not so sure. Have we got it at centre back? No. Have we got it up front? No. Have we got it in the midfield if Pogba or Bruno get injured? No. If Matic gets injured? No. Left back is the best position we've got for cover. What 3 improvements should we as fans look for in the next transfer window, says Andres Storvik? Well, improvement is also removing some of the deadwood, isn't it? So for me, removing Lingard and Pereira and maybe Mata would be improvement. And also Sancho and I would say Grealish. Chris Smalling's still a good centre-back option for Man United, says Asher. I do like Smalling. And Bruno has been playing every minute. Next season we need an attacking centre midfielder like Grealish. But would you love Grealish to be on the bench to come in for Pogba? But what about a attacking centre midfielder? Thank you, says Anup. Well, I think you've sort of answered your own question there, Anup. I mean, Grealish can play box-to-box and attacking midfielder. The sub-attacking midfielder is James Rodriguez, says Guido. He loves him. He bloody loves him. That's two super chats about him. And just talking about Mata, actually, there was a story today linking Juan Mata with a move to Turkey again. Look, I wouldn't put amazing weight on this, but remember we did give Juan Mata a 2-year contract last summer with the option for another year. I didn't like that deal. I do like Juan Mata, but I didn't like that deal. And I know Ricky likes Mata, and I know a lot of you do like Mata, but I've seen nothing in Mata over the last 2... Even the year before that contract, I was like, let him go, he's finished. And we gave him another 2 years. And I think we've given him 2 years because Juan Mata's a nice guy and everyone likes Juan Mata, and he probably does bring a lot to training and things like that. But does he bring 140k a week to training? No, he keeps it in his bank balance. Does he bring that to the football pitch? No. I mean, he came on yesterday and I think the thing with Mata is he comes on and does a good job, but I think a youth player like Garner could come on and do that same job, and he's going to develop and offer us something. Maybe Gomez could have done that. I just think Mata is very obviously and very sadly coming towards the end of his career, and it just doesn't offer value for money. I think if we can move Mata on this summer, it frees up a space. It frees up a wage, a very big wage. So I would move Mata on, and you might get 5 million quid for him as well, which would be very important. You might get 10. I mean, I don't think you would because of his age, but I think the removal of the wage would be a good thing. I don't think Mata will go, by the way. But that's the story coming out of Turkey, so that's quite interesting. And also, what else was I going to get? I mean, the Chris Smalling and Alexis Sanchez is quite interesting. I mean, there was some stories, I think, on Friday, Saturday, that Alexis Sanchez may stay at Inter Milan and they might buy him. I mean, God, I think for me, Alexis Sanchez is a bit similar to Mata, but only in this... Look, no, Mata's nothing like Sanchez. Mata's actually somebody I like who's delivered on the pitch for United and will always be held affectionately in United fans' hearts. I think Alexis Sanchez won't be, but there is a similarity with Sanchez where I would even forego a transfer fee. If we can get 10 million for him, great. I don't think he's worth much more than that. But the removal of 350k a week wages is massive. So I would, if Inter Milan would take him, I would almost give them him for free, because I think that would be brilliant. I think United just need to wash their hands of that deal, because 350k a week is nearly £1.5 million a month. You know, what's that? It's 18 million pounds a year in wages to Alexis Sanchez. If you remove that, you've just saved yourself 18 million a year. So the transfer fee for me is irrelevant. If we can get rid of him, get rid of him. Mark, given an option, you would sign Grealish or Koulibaly after signing Sancho. You can have one, says Avishak. I think actually I probably would get Grealish, because I think what I liked about United yesterday was the ability to go and score goals. And I think that if we keep playing the way we're playing, we're always going to be able to score goals. And if you remove Bruno and put Grealish on there, I still think we can score goals. If you remove Bruno and you've got Pereira or Lingard to come in, I think we'll stop scoring. And then, you know, I just think that United at the moment should be looking to build on what we're doing going forward. Defensively, we have been good under Ollie, and I think we can sort that out. I mean, look, I actually think if we're desperate for a centre-back and we can't afford one, ask Chris Smalling to come back. I do think that Smalling's a decent centre-back, and he's better than a lot of what we've got. I respect Smalling for going because he wanted to play first-team football, and he's done fantastically well. Ask my question badly. 3 improvements from Ed Woodward in the next transfer window. How can Woodward show improvements? Says Andreas Storvik. He's got to go and get Jadon Sancho. I think if he gets Jadon Sancho, we move. Anup says, I was telling Grealish is box-to-box. We need a younger version of Bruno. He's happy to be on the bench and learn from Bruno. Well, Anup, you're wrong. He's not box-to-box. Jack Grealish isn't box-to-box. He can play box-to-box, but Jack Grealish actually plays better in a more advanced position. He can actually play off the left and the right, but he's an attacking midfielder. Jack Grealish can do the job that Bruno does, basically. Support the midfield when it needs to defend, but create things around the box. He's not as good as Bruno, but you know, you're not going to get a player as good as Bruno who's going to be happy to sit on your bench. I think Jack Grealish would, like you say, he could play box to box. He could go left or right if you needed him to. he could force himself into the team. So, yeah. We need Sancho. When is the next watch-along, says Jake? Next Thursday, we're playing Aston Villa. And when does the transfer window open, or has it opened already, says Ewan? I mean, look, you can agree deals. You can agree deals. So the Sane deal from Man City to Bayern Munich has been done because the clubs have agreed the deal. But it can't officially be ratified until the transfer window is open. So United and Sancho could say it's done. We did it with Memphis Depay. You get confused really, but you can do it. We did it with Memphis Depay in March, but it wasn't official till June. So United could announce that the Sancho's deal is done, but we're not actually negotiating with Dortmund at the moment. We're going to wait until August when the transfer window opens, I think. So, yeah, you could do deals, and they are quite rare to announce them before the transfer window's open. But, yeah, it'd be August the 1st. Sancho, a centre-back and a midfielder. We can challenge next season, says Kang. And I am doing Arsenal versus Leicester as a watch-along, Gale, but that's football. I don't do that on here. This is United Stand. It's not That's Football United. That's Football is a different channel. I am doing Arsenal versus Leicester on Tuesday night because we need Arsenal to win for the first time ever. I'll be an Arsenal fan. And I am doing episode 3 of my Manchester United, Aston Villa career mode at 2:30 on Mark Goldbridge. That's Football. So if you want to see a bit more of Grealish, we've just beaten Arsenal, and we're playing Man United in the Cup actually. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. Please smash a like on the video if you are watching, and if you are interested, we have got a new T-shirt amongst our ranks. I'm going to show it you here. It should work. Basically what I'm going to say is we're having great success with our T-shirts at the moment, and as you can see here, we've got a new one. But the Bruno one I wore yesterday, 2 goals. I wore it in midweek. 2 goals midweek, a goal and assist this week. Martial, I wore it a couple of games ago, hat trick. And my next trick, my next shirt is going to be the new shirt, which is Mank Born and Bred. You know what it is, the Marcus Rashford tee. Link in the video description for that. We've got it in black, we've got it in red, we've got it in white, we've got it in grey, and we've got it in bottle green. I like the black one the best, or the red one. Brand new, that I've not even got mine yet. It's on order. We do ship worldwide. Link is in the video description. And I will be wearing that for the next watch along on Thursday night. So no pressure, Marcus, but you've got to score on Thursday because that's my next T-shirt. Links in the video description for that. It does ship worldwide. Magic T-shirts, at the moment, I mean, the run probably won't continue forever, but for now they are. Thanks everyone for watching. We're back at 8 o'clock. We've got Ricky, Saeed and Adam on tonight. Just some of the topics we'll be talking about. Has Ollie changed tactically? I want to get at Saeed because he doesn't think he has. Martial's role. We're going to be talking about Declan Rice and a lot more as well. Also, what we need for next season if we want to challenge. How do we turn this run into more? Thanks everyone for watching. Mark Malangsar is a good option for centre-back, says Naveen. Okay. Thanks for the super chats. He's got good passing. He's also going to be a free agent. There's a good scouting from Naveen. T-shirts, video description, brand new Rashford one, and smash a like and subscribe if you're new. We'll see you at 8 o'clock, and you can watch me on Mark Goldbridge. That's Football if you want a bit of FIFA this afternoon.